These three strategies are used by the pros and not you. Learn why 97% of sports bettors lose and how to become part of the 3%. What's up, legends? My name is T, and welcome to Bet Cartel. Let me tell you about the biggest mistake I ever made betting on sports and how it cost me thousands. A couple years ago, I thought I had it all figured out. I'd wake up, open William Hill or Betway, pick a few big names, a parlay here, same game parlay there, and sit back thinking I was about to cash in. But night after night, all I cashed in was disappointment. And yet, I kept telling myself, I'm investing, not gambling. Then I read a stat: 97% of sports bettors lose money in the long term. Only 3% win. And it hit me. I wasn't investing. I was one of the 97%. But here's the good news. I made a change. And that change came down to three strategies that flipped my whole approach, helped me claw back my losses, and actually made sports betting profitable. If I'd learned these earlier, I'd have been making 5K, 10K a month a whole year sooner. So in this video, I'm handing you the Lego bricks so you can build your own picture and stop giving free money to the books. So let's get into it. The first strategy is correlation. When I first started hearing about correlated plays, I thought it was just another buzzword. But then someone explained it to me like this: if you're betting on one thing to happen, why wouldn't you bet on the other things that make it happen? And then it all clicked. Take this example: Warriors versus Timberwolves. Steph Curry's out. Now Jimmy Butler's likely to carry a bigger playmaking load. So you take his over assists. But who's scoring those buckets that he's dishing out? That's where the correlation comes in. So I pair his over assists with Buddy Hield's over points. Why? Because those two outcomes are directly connected. When Butler facilitates, Hield benefits, and vice versa. You can apply this to other sports too. NFL, pair a QBs over on passing yards with his wide receivers over on receiving yards. MLB, pair a pitcher's strikeouts with the opposing team's runs under on runs. Even esports, pair a player's kills with their team's wins. Now, the sports books aren't dumb. They know many bettors do this. So they sometimes nerf payouts on obvious combinations, like QB and WR in NFL. But here's the kicker: basketball props tend to fly under the radar, and they don't always nerf them. So you have to study. Look for non obvious logical correlations the books don't price correctly. One tip I've learned is to mix correlated props from different games, or to use cross-sport parlays if your book allows it. When I started using this approach, my hit rate improved dramatically, and I stopped sweating random parlays that didn't make sense. If you want the correct information on correlated plays, head to OddsJam to see the best odds. Use the code CARTEL to get 35% off your first month with OddsJam. Now, let me tell you about the worst bet I ever made. I once bet on Luka Doncic's over on assists and over on points, and his teammates over on rebounds in a game where they were playing one of the slowest paced teams in the league. No correlation, no edge, just wishful thinking. And sure enough, the pace was a crawl. Luka barely touched double digits in assists, and everyone underperformed. That was the moment I realized I wasn't betting smart. I was just throwing darts. Learn from my mistake. Build smart, correlated slips. instead of random star player parlays. The second strategy is arbitrage. So now let's talk about risk-free profit. When I first heard about arbitrage, I didn't believe it. You can't win no matter what, I thought, until I tried it. Here's how it works. Different sports books set their lines independently. Sometimes they make mistakes. For example, William Hill might have a player's over at plus 145, while Betway has the under at minus 105. If you bet the right amounts on both sides, you're guaranteed a small profit, no matter what happens. I use tools like OddsJam's arbitrage calculator. It tells you exactly how much to bet on each side. Here's a real example I placed last month. Over on William Hill plus 150, under on Betway minus 110. I staked $100 and locked in $4.27 in risk-free profit. That doesn't sound like much, but when you scale it up and hit dozens and dozens and dozens of these per week, it adds up fast and you'll be in the thousands in no time. And I'm talking five figures. After a year or two, six, maybe even seven. Now, will this get you limited eventually? Absolutely. But here's the thing. Getting limited just means you're profitable. You can always open accounts with other books or adjust your strategy, and other books are popping up every day. So don't let fear of limits stop you from making money now. I still remember my first art. It was late at night. I was so nervous placing two bets that felt like they cancelled each other out. I thought, there's no way this works. Then the game ended, and I still made money. That was the night I stopped thinking like a gambler and started thinking like a trader. And if you want to do this too, head to OddsJam and use code CARTEL for 35% off your first month. Just try it for 7 days for a free trial. The third strategy is positive EV. So last but not least, we're talking about positive expected value betting. This is the strategy that finally made my betting consistent. Here's what most bettors don't understand. You don't need to win every bet. You just need to consistently take bets where the odds are in your favor, even slightly, and let the math work out over time. Think of it like this. If you flip a weighted coin that lands on heads 53% of the time, you could still lose the first 10 flips. But if you flip it 1,000 times, you're going to win more than you lose, guaranteed. There's no way around it. That's the same idea with positive EV bets. Here's an example. Jalen Brunson over 5 assists is minus 140 everywhere. But if you find it at plus 120 on one book, that's value. You're getting paid more than you should. And over time, those edges add up. I use OddsJam's EV tool every day to find these. It's simple, fast, and shows you the exact percentage you need to have on each bet. But here's the catch. You have to stick with it, even when you have losing streaks. Volume is the key. The more bets you place, the more the math evens out in your favor. And that's how casinos operate. So remember, correlation, stack smart props that work together. Arbitrage, take risk-free money while you can. Positive EV, stack the odds in your favor over time. Look, you have a choice to make today. Do you want to keep sweating random parlays, hoping for a miracle? Or do you want to finally step into the 3% of bettors who treat this like a business? And if you're serious about taking your money to the next level, here's something to make it even easier for you. We built betcartel.net to help bettors like you get out of the 97% and start winning like the pros. With guides, strategies, and real examples updated all the time. Check it out. This is where I share even the most advanced plays and tips you won't find anywhere else. And to actually find those profitable bets in real time, I highly recommend OddsJam. It's the exact tool I use every day to find arbitrage and positive EV opportunities across dozens of sportsbooks. Even better, right now you can get a 7-day free trial of OddsJam to test it out risk free and save 35% off your subscription when you use the code CARTEL at checkout. So stop guessing and start betting smarter. Links are in the description below. See you at the top. It's one day or day one. You decide. If you got value from this video, drop a like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications. And comment below which strategy you're going to try first. I'll see you on the next one. But for now, get in, get paid, get out, Godspeed.